Hey guys, good morning. How's it going? I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and then we can get started. 6:23 right now, so we have about 7 minutes to the market open. However, Federal Jerome Powell is going to be speaking in the same time as opening, so we're probably not going to take any trades, but I'm going to go ahead and still look for any possible entries. So let me just finish setting this up real quick. But yeah, he's probably going to be speaking for like an hour or so, so it's going to conflict with our trading time, which is fine. I mean, I'll still be on here. I probably just won't be trading. But if I do see something good, I'll let you guys know. But, me being on the safe side, I'm probably just going to sit it out. There's really no need for me to go and take some unnecessary risk, especially so late into the week. So let me just get this set up real quick. All right. While that gets set up, let me send you guys the Zoom link here in the premium. All right. Got that link sent out to you guys right there. Post it right here. Let everything set up shortly. In 1 second. All right, cool. Looks like everyone's making their way in. So I just explained myself a while ago. I'm going to explain myself again shortly once everyone makes their way in. We have about 5 minutes to market open, and I'll explain, how the situation of today is going to go due to the news this morning. So let me just get this all set up real quick. Slow it up and get the YouTube link for the rest of the people here. All right, set up right there. Oops. This real quick. I'm gonna let everybody make their way into the room real quick. Still allowing people into the room. So it looks like you guys locked in some pretty solid profit this morning. So looking at Larkin over here, I made about 2011 this morning. So some of you guys did trade during London session. Vincent made about 113. Let's double post right here. Semtex made about 1,012. I forgot who this was. But yeah, you guys made some pretty solid profit. Unless this is mine. I guess it was my profit. Or it looks like I copied someone else's profit into the saved messages over here, but I don't know exactly who it was. But yeah, you guys did pretty solid this morning. Vincent locked in 113. Romanio locked in 2,046. Cheryl locked in about 1,000 right there. Or if you add up her other trades. And then I can't remember whose trades these were. They probably sent it to me directly, and I just copied it over. So this is about a 2,000 profit there. Semtex made about 1,012. Vincent again right here. I'll just delete that. It's a double post. And lastly, Larkin sent his profits for 2011 this morning. Wow, a lot of you guys did pretty good. Brittany as well. Brittany's up 13,000 this morning, so she locked in some pretty heavy profit overnight. Alkin as well. Alkin's up 825, getting close to 1,000. And then Albert over here locked in 151. So nice work amongst everyone here who traded London session. I know London session was a little crazy, but big congrats to you guys here who did lock in some pretty solid stuff. Before market open. So market opens in about 2 minutes. Like I mentioned, Powell's going to be speaking at 6:30. So I'm probably not going to be trading myself. I'll be looking for trades, but I'm probably not going to be trading myself because there's just too much risk right now, especially with Powell speaking. Anything he says could really cause, some crazy movement in the market. But looking over here on the 10-minute, We have a bearish bias. Reason for that is because price is below the pivots. Trend meter is also red. Looking at the 3 minute, same situation. Price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red. And lastly, here on the 1 minute, price is below the pivots and the trend meter is also red. So, just looking at all this stuff right here, it's all indicating a bearish bias for the technical side. We'll be looking for, even here on the 1 hour, the 1 hour is also below the pivots. The trend meter is also red. It got really close to the all-time high, but then it came slumping all the way back down. So I'll be looking at the fundamentals to see if they follow alongside the technicals. Let's check this real quick. CNBC right there. Yeah, so Powell's about to be speaking shortly. But yeah, looking over here at the fundamentals, the futures data is down 164 points. So it looks pretty bearish. I think it's going to open pretty bearish as well. Looking at market sentiment over here, it's 62% short. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. There might be some crazy spikes in price, but, like I mentioned, I'm probably not going to be trading myself. Market opens in about 30 seconds. I'll just keep this marked up here. I mean, our bias here is a sell. So if I see a sell, I'll give it to you guys, but this is probably not going to be considered like an official trade since I'm not going to be taking it myself. So we'll see what happens from here, and then we'll obviously we'll see how this plays out. Yeah, we got about 9 seconds. We'll see where the fundamentals point towards, and then from there we'll determine which direction we plan on taking. So looking at the fundamentals over here, the daily is unchanged. It hasn't opened yet. There we go. Market has just opened officially, 6:30. Looks pretty bearish to me. Most of these stocks are red. So yeah, for the most part, we have a bearish bias right there. It's down 139 points on open. Check that out. Look at this crazy manipulation, right? It's super red. Everything was red when we started. It was red on open. The daily's red. The entire index over here is all red. But look what happened with the actual chart. It went straight up. So this is exactly why I don't want to trade today, because look at this huge manipulation. There's no reason for it to shoot up like this. The entire market is red. It's down 140 points. Like, I don't know how that makes any sense to anybody. Why it would go up? It literally makes no sense. Market opened with straight red. It went straight immediately negative 120 points. But here you see US 30 shooting all the way up. So what I recommend, guys, is you guys just be careful. I wouldn't even trade today. Powell's speaking right now, so that's pretty crazy to see something like this happen right here. And it's still pushing up. That's the conflict that I was talking about earlier, because the retail traders are short, so I was expecting it to go up, but everything was pointing towards the downside. And I mean, whatever. I'm glad we didn't decide to take that trade, because that's pretty crazy right there. That it literally shot up. How far did it shoot up? It literally spiked well over 1,000 pips. And the entire, everything here is showed a bearish bias. If you guys rewind and see how I analyze everything, bearish bias on the 1 hour, bearish bias on the 10-minute, 3-minute, and 1 minute. The fundamentals on the future side showed negative 163 points. On open right here, it even showed negative 140 points, still a negative 100 points. And the actual index right here is all red, right? So if you guys look at this and you just use common sense, you're like, oh, it's all red. What do you think is going to happen with US 30? It's going to have to drop, right? But right here on the open, look what happened. It shot all the way up. So this is why you guys got to be careful when you guys take trades during heavy news days, like especially today with Powell speaking, because even though all of the fundamentals and technicals and everything pretty much points to the downside, you can still see a spike up in price like this. And this is why, I'm very cautious with the way I trade. So what I would recommend is just to just wait it out. I mean, if you guys want to take some scalps, I mean, you guys can, but obviously you can see that this week has been heavily manipulated. This happened a lot this week and last week. The past 2 weeks have just been kind of crazy overall. And you can see here, US 30 is still pushing up. It just, just doesn't make any sense. You're looking over here at the fundamentals. You're like, wow, this is all red, but it's still pushing up pretty heavily. Looking over here on the daily, it's still down like 74 points. It's starting to shift to the upside, but still on market open, it was down so heavily. It shouldn't have shot up this high. It's now up. Dang, let's see how far. So basically, whoever was following just technicals, right? Because from the beginning, it showed like it was going to be a strong sell. Whoever's following those technicals, everyone's just getting stopped out, because this thing just shot up like 100. It's 1,000. So it shot up 130 points, which is 1,300 pips. So as you guys can see, huge market manipulation right there. Let me go ahead and just check out the chat, and then we'll see what goes on over here. So let me see. Morning, Alec. Good morning, Miles. Morning, Mark. Morning, Matt. Morning, Adrian. Morning, Martin. Morning, Vedran. Morning, Delmas. Morning, Abraham. Morning, everybody. Yeah, I would just relax. I mean, it's not really worth the risk, guys. It's market's super crazy right now. Let me scroll up real quick. Morning, Riga. Morning, Tino. Morning, Peter. Morning, Sisu. Morning, Gactive. Morning, Chai-Por. Let's see. Morning, Tommy. Morning, Joseph. Morning, Jose. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Peter. Morning, everybody. This guy Rocky over here said, so Rocky was like an old member. He said, this guy makes it seem like you can make thousands of dollars in one trade, but unless you have a funded account, you're not going to make that much money. He fails to tell you about that. Actually, I do tell you guys about that. When I show everyone about the profits over here, I know Rocky, he was in K2 before, but this dude got upset because he blew his account because this dude didn't know how to trade. But look, check this out, Rocky. I show everyone's profits here, bro. Even if you don't have a funded account, I mean, you've been around, bro. You've been around K2 for over a month and you've seen all the live sessions. So I don't know what you're talking about, but people here have like normal accounts. Like, there's other people here who have smaller accounts. Even if you have a smaller funded account or anything like that, like, look at this right here. I could scroll up and show you everyone's profits. I could show you people who's making thousands, and I can show you people who's making close to 1,000 and they're still trading a small account. There's always going to be salty people in groups that were in groups before and they just didn't have the same success as everyone and they're just upset. That's a personal problem. It's not a problem with K2 because everyone here is obviously profiting every single day. But obviously, if you look over here and you can see everything, not everyone here is using a funded account. Like if you scroll up, there's a lot of people here using like just normal accounts. So let's see. There's just so many people here. I don't even know what to look out for. But I'm trying to look for someone with like small profits because like if you look at their small profits, they add up. So let's scroll up a little bit over here. Yeah, there's like so many people who have profited every day. It's hard to find someone who's like we're looking for someone specific because obviously it makes no sense for someone to be if you're able to lock in a lot of profit like Albert over here, right? Albert, he's locking small profits, but this dude's been locking in profits like every day. If you look at, you could even look him up in the group here. Let's see, Albert. Okay, so Albert here, he posts his profits every day, right? Makes 24 bucks there. Albert makes 200 bucks there. He has a small account, right? You add these up, like for the week, he makes a couple 200 bucks here and there. By the end of the week, he's making about 1,000, right? So I don't know exactly like what Rocky was complaining about, but I know you are Rocky, bro. You were here before. I know you complained before you blew your account, but that wasn't my fault. That was your fault because you weren't using proper risk management. But look at Albert here. See, Albert has a small account, so I don't know where all this is even coming from. He posts his profits every day, 100 bucks here, 100 bucks there, adds up to 1,000. Yeah, see, Jose said right here, bro, Shawn taking me to 150 bucks. I can prove that. So yeah, I mean, I'm not here to prove anything to you guys. If you guys have been here before in the live sessions, you guys know what we can do here. Obviously there's going to be a few bad apples from the basket and it's all good. But yeah, definitely. Let me scroll up real quick and see what else did I miss over here as we continue. But looking at US 30, guys, Powell is speaking right now, so I'm probably not going to be taking any trades. If you guys have questions, this would probably be the best day for you guys to ask me questions and I can answer them for you. But I'm probably not going to be trading myself because of the heavy news. So let's see. And the odd JPY trade that I called yesterday, it already hit TP1. So if you guys moved your stop loss and profit, you're probably safe right now. I would move your stop loss and profit if you haven't already. It's about to hit TP2 though for 25 pips over here. So all of our trades this week have hit. And as you can see right here, US 30 is starting to come all the way back down, right? Because, it's going to come back down. The fundamentals are pushing it down, so it's going to have to come back down eventually. It's just, there's a manipulated move here on the open. So that's why it shot up so heavily. So let me just go ahead and scroll over here real quick. Nice work with Anna. So Diana took profits for the buy. Her thought process was unemployment claims was positive. That's good. That's good. So see, like if you understand how to analyze fundamentals like that, like actual news events, then that could be beneficial to you. I just analyze things on basic fundamentals, like the way that other stuff here plays out, like pretty much how the stock market's playing out, like the clear fundamentals. If you know how to analyze news like that, you can use that to your advantage. So definitely great work off that, Diana. Let's see, Prince said, how often does this happen? And since retail is short, perfect buy low, sell high. It doesn't happen very often, Ezekiel. Like if you've been here, I mean, you've been here for like a year now, Prince. Like you've seen that the market isn't normally manipulated like this on the open. It's usually pretty smooth, but lately it's just been manipulated because of how, because Powell's speaking this morning. He's going to talk about economics, basically the monetary policy here in the U.S. So it's going to affect the market pretty heavily. Let me go over here real quick and see what else we've got over here. Yeah, so Shipor said, I think it jumps because future has been dropping during Asia session while the market is closed. When the market opens, future and market try to align. Yeah, I could see that too, Shipor. That's like one analysis to look at it from. The only thing that I see is that because all the pretty much everything pointed towards the downside, I was expecting it to come down, but it happens. Sometimes like things like this in the market happen, you can't really explain it. But just from my perspective, it's just for me, I could see this as market manipulation because of everything else pointing to the downside, right? Because when it first opened, everything was all red. But as soon as the first candle popped open right here, it shot all the way up, which is really unusual for something like that to happen, especially if it's if everything's pointing towards one direction. But you can see here, it's coming all the way back down, right? So like if you look over here on the 10-minute, like I always tell you guys, once this candle opens right here, it'll go one of two directions. It'll either keep pushing up or it'll go back down to where it originally was prior to that. And there it is. See, it's going back down prior to where it was earlier. So it's it's obviously going to correct back to where we analyzed earlier. So this is why we didn't take that opening candle, because you can see here price is coming exactly back down to where it originally where it was supposed to go from open. So obviously you can see these huge spikes here. This would, I mean, to me, this looks like clear market manipulation because price comes up where it's not supposed to go, and then it comes all the way back down to where it's supposed to go because we identified the sell on open. But it's all good. I mean, I didn't take a trade, so I'm not really worried about it. But if we want to look for some possible scalps, the bias here is still a sell. The reason for that sell is because the technicals are all pointing back to the downside where it originally was. And then on top of that, the fundamentals are also pointing to the downside as well. The Dow is down 126 points for the day. Looking over here at the actual stock index, this right here too is all red. Looking at the futures index right here, this is red as well. And looking at I mean, this is going to conflict with us because the market sentiment is short. Usually we want to trade the opposite of the market sentiment, but today it's just everything is lining up for the sell. So I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens from here, but I'm probably not going to be trading today just because Powell is going to be speaking. So we'll we'll see what goes on from here. All right, let me scroll up a little bit, see what else I missed. Hey, Shannon, morning. Riga said, Shawn, how long have you been funded on FTMO? I've been funded since last year. How many splits have you got already? I don't know. It's been a couple months, so probably around 6 months or so. It's been a while. But I switched my accounts because initially I started with like a 50K when I first joined FTMO last June. And I got funded right away. And then I did 100K and then I merged those together. And then I did another 50K, merged those together. And then lastly, I did a 200K earlier this year. And then, I'm going to merge those together too. But yeah, I've had probably about like 5 or 6 splits, or no, more than that. I had like more than 6 splits already, which has been, I mean, it's been pretty solid. They've been pretty good overall. I've never had any problems with FTMO. That's why I've always stayed with them. Some of you guys convinced me to use funding talent last week, specifically Cheryl, because she got a 300K account within a few days, just trading with us here during the live sessions. And that's why I got it. But, I'm still always going to choose FTMO over any other funding company because they've been consistent for like over a year now. Nice, Frag. So Frag said, hey, Shawn, I'm new here, but you've been helping me make 400 plus this week, just following what you do. Nice work, Frag. No, definitely, I'm glad to see that. OJPY over here just hit TP. So the OJPY that I called yesterday hit TP2. And I know some of you guys are waiting for this right here. There you go, for you guys. So there we go, another TP right there for OJPY. Let me give you guys the update. I did give you guys the little hint earlier that I was probably going to drop. So now you guys can move your stop loss even farther in profit if you'd like. Not necessary, but if you guys want to, you guys can. So let me just give you guys a little update right here. So no losses this week so far. It's been great for everybody. Donovan over here locked in 413. So you can see right here, Donovan made 413. He has a small account. This isn't a funded account. So definitely nice work right there, Donovan. Tommy over here made 1,400 this morning. Nice. Angela over here locked in about 226. So you guys can see, it doesn't matter if you have a big account or a small account, you can still profit with this here. So it just depends on like the risk that you plan on taking. Cheryl over here locked in about 2,000 right there. Nice work, Cheryl. So you guys did lock in some pretty solid profit. Karoom over here took GJ and US 30 up 2,201. Nice work, Karoom. Congrats, bro. Larisha over here locked in 445. See, like Larisha's not even in the premium. She's here on the YouTube live, and she just takes these trades as we look at them, and she makes some pretty solid profits off that. Eunice over here locked in 171. Nice work, Eunice. And then his other account, he made 195. So you guys can see not everyone here makes in the thousands. I don't understand where that whole argument came from, where everyone's making thousands, right? People are making hundreds here, but it adds up to 1,000. So looking over here as well, Kyle made 241. Nice work, Kyle. So definitely great work amongst everyone here. Let me just send this over to Michael real quick. Michael had just signed up to us, but I don't think he saw the link. There you go, Michael. All right, cool. So let me go back to looking at JPY here, very nice, still pushing down, smooth move to the downside. Looking back at US 30, see this huge manipulation right here? This is why I'm not messing with it. You can see how it's going back and forth. There should not be a wick this big. This wick is like 600 pips. So this is exactly why, I'm not messing with the market today, because Powell is speaking. Powell is basically, whatever he says could easily push price one way or the other. Nice work, Semtex. So Semtex, he locked in 1,098. Done for today. Nice, nice. Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, if you guys don't have to trade, you should probably just sit out the market because of how the market's moving. I mean, obviously the bias is for a sell, but looking at the sentiment, sentiment is short right now. So this is conflicting because generally it's probably gonna go opposite of what the sentiment's doing. So right here, price is still going up. It's not something that I would want to really mess with as we go on from here. All right. So let me scroll down real quick. Nice work, Jody. Jody made some profit off that. Riga's asking how long it took Shawn to be profitable. I mean, I've been profitable for the past, I've been trading for a long time. I've been trading for like 11 years now. A lot of the people here have been with me for like the past 5 years. So like the past 5-6 years, I've been pretty profitable consistently. But obviously in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I never paid for a course. I never had a mentor. So I learned everything through YouTube and Google. So it took me a long time to actually learn everything, how to actually trade and understand how the market works. So, it took a long time, but overall I've been, it took me a while to be profitable. But once I became profitable, it's just rinse and repeat. I do the same thing every day. It's no different. So, I don't think that the time period to be profitable really matters. It just depends on how you continue once you are profitable. If you're consistent after that, then that's what really matters. It's not necessarily how long it takes you, because it took me a long time because I never paid for a mentor. I mean, I didn't have money for a mentor. I didn't have money for a course. I just learned everything through YouTube, Google, and practice. So let me scroll down real quick. Wayne wants me to take a look at Euro NZD. So I'm going to add you to the list, Wayne. I'm going to go down all the questions first, and I'll come back to yours towards the end. So Wayne wants me to take a look at Euro NZD. If you guys want me to analyze anything, just put the asset in the chart, and I'll take a look for you. So I got one question here for Wayne. I'll look at that shortly. Looking over here, oh boy, said GM, TSM taking the semis with it, affecting NQ. Earnings came out today before the market. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens from here. Like, like I mentioned, the market is going to be, it's just going to be going back and forth. It's going to be a lot of back and forth movement. Just looking at the fundamentals over here, it's still pretty bearish. but I'm not going to play with the market today. I'll look for entries, but I'm not going to necessarily be taking any trades myself. Just because of how it's moving, right? Because everything's pointing towards the downside, but it's still pushing up. The thing is, I wouldn't want to go up because everything here is still pushing. You know, if you look at the actual Dow index over here, this is all red. So there's like no reason for me to really take the buy because you might get caught in a fake out. It'll push up slightly, and then all of a sudden it just spikes all the way back down. It's not something that I really would want to get stuck in. So let me go ahead and take a look at the Zoom now. So I just looked at the YouTube. All right, looking at the Zoom right here. Yeah, Josh, it dropped pretty heavy, right? From what you identified. Mikhail over here said it did create a bullish K2 momentum signal breaking past the pivots before it shot up on the 1 minute. Yeah, I mean, it moved pretty crazy off that open right there. I'm not really trying to play around with it. Josh said 65% of traders were short. Now they're getting stopped out. Price went back to 61. Yeah, that's what happened with the sentiment. And then now it's back up again, right? Because whoever got stopped out, they just hop back in because they're like, oh, I got caught in this manipulation, and they're anticipating it to come right back down. And that's another reason why I don't want to hop in, because a lot of other people are getting trapped right now. I'd rather wait for all those traps to play out. And then once the traps have played out, then you can hop in after once the market is smoothened out. Let's see. Hey, morning, Kyle. Morning, Aaron. Morning, Lamar. Morning, David. Morning, Mo. Abraham said, I wish I held that buy. I just held 6 pips. I know it was a risky move, though, Abraham. It's probably a good idea that you did it. Morning, William. Yeah, Abraham said, if I held that, I would have been done with my funded account. It's all good, Abraham. It'll come up eventually. Chris Stapp said, why did you close your stream yesterday and didn't even say goodbye? I did. I don't know if you were on YouTube, Chris Stapp. You might have been on the YouTube, because if you're on the YouTube, that's probably why you didn't see me, because the YouTube is delayed. But I did say I was going to log off on the Zoom, so you might have just missed it. William said GA is looking like a longer buy, so I'll take a look at that as well. Let me add you to the list right here, William. A GBP odd. William. So I'll analyze both of those pairs. Yeah, definitely. Sam just said odd JPY hit TP2. Abraham said, Shawn, why is it when you're around, I'm good at trading? You guys have my confirmation. That's why. But no, definitely great work on that, Abraham. At least you locked in some profit. Rav said, I hope this goes up because I'm still, you're still in it. Rav, I got out of that trade, but yeah, hopefully it does come up and you can make your way back into profit. Because I think you were like, actually, you're not too far from it. You're like right here. So if it comes up to this area right here where the liquidity is sitting, you should be able to make it back out in profit, Rav. Definitely. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Lisa. Joshua said the craziest thing I expected, that huge drop in US 30, got in for a sell, got stopped out at 900. Boss dropped it to where I could have made over 2K on the sell trade. Yeah, I know. I mean, the market's gonna be bouncing back and forth, so it's gonna be choppy either way, going from both directions. Chad Porter said, hey, Shawn, with your 11 years of experience, how did you find yourself coming up with the momentum indicator? So it was probably like 4 years in, because what happened was when I was learning different strategies, I was basically pulling all the things that I liked from each strategy. You know, I figured out that I was really good at trend trading and I was good at trading momentum. But the thing is, there wasn't any good momentum indicators out there. So what happened was I created my own. I basically look for different things in the market. You know, there's like different things that I look out here for. I look out for like some sort of a consolidation, and I look for breakout to the other side. And then I was like, okay, how do I turn this into an indicator? So within 5 years of my learning and experience and trial and error, that's when I came up with the momentum indicator. And then I've been using it ever since for the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. It's been working great. Since then, once we started K2, I started to incorporate these other indicators. Before it was just a momentum indicator, and I was using like zones as well. But now, we tied it in with the trend meter to make things more efficient. Like every time I find something to make trading more efficient for me and for you guys, that's when I create a new indicator and a new strategy to pretty much help you guys trade a lot, way more efficient. Because the thing is, there's a lot of people who take forever to analyze trades and they never take the trade. With our indicators right here, we're able to identify trades right away, and we can just hop right in without even thinking. So that's pretty much how I came up with the momentum indicator and how I came up with the rest of the indicators as well. So let me just scroll over here real quick. Riga, are you new here? Because Riga, I know you've been here for a while. I've seen your name before. I don't know if you've looked at the results. So, I mean, if you want to go back and look at the results yourself, you can just go back to the results and do your own calculation of how accurate I am on the monthly basis. So, like, if you want to go here, on these live sessions, I only really trade US 30 now. Before I used to trade a lot of Forex, but the way that the market's moving, it's more beneficial to just trade US 30. So if you want to look at the actual the trades that we've taken here, everything's pretty much documented. You could go back and watch every live session, see every trade I took if you want to go and see if you want to go vet these trades. But anyways, looking at July over here. So for July, we had, or I'm not gonna look at July because we're still in July, but looking at June over here, we had 62 wins and 2 losses, right? So we had a total of 64 trades. If you divide 62 wins by 64, I had a 97% win rate for the entire month of June. And these are all live trades that I take here in the live session. So if you guys want to go back and watch those live trades, you can go see everything's fully transparent here. Looking over here at May, we had a total of 51 wins and 2 losses. So that's 53 wins, 53 trades total. You divide 51 by 53. That's a 96% win rate right there. So, I mean, if you ever want to go and look at it, you can go back and look at all of the results because I trade live every single morning. You can't fake this. You can't fake live trading because I'm calling these trades live. And I'm analyzing and showing you guys how these are taken. So if you want to go back and look, just look at the results, and then you can go back and just see these trades being called and taken at that time. And that's pretty much our win percentage for like the past couple of months. If you want to go back to April, April was a bit of a slower month as well. So April, we had 42 wins and 4 losses. So that's 42 divided by 46. I still had like a 91% win rate. So it's still above 90% for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 months or so. And then the same with March, everything here has been pretty accurate for the most part. So you can see here. And Riga, you have like a million questions. Huh? Riga's like, hey, 90% win rate, Shawn. I mean, the average monthly gains on the portfolio. Bro, I'm not going to tell you how much money I make. It's not going to make a difference for you. If I tell you how much profit I make every day, it's not going to make you a better trader, right? So there's no reason for you to really know that. If you really want to go back and look at all the posts here. So go back and look at every post here. Like if you really want to know, go back and look at the post and look at every profit I sent for every day, right? So if you go back over here and then you just go back to every single day that I post profits. So if you want to look for July, just go over here and add this up. All my profits for the day, add them up. And then you can go see what the monthly gain is for a 200K account. I'm gonna give you some homework to do if you really want to find out. But like, bro, I don't know why I don't like this stuff doesn't matter to you, right? But you want to know this stuff because what I make doesn't translate to what you're going to make. So I don't want to give you these high hopes that you're going to make the same profit as Shawn when you're not on this level of trading. So, bro, if you want to go see how much profit I'm making, go and like look at all these profits that I post here because I post my profits every day, and then you can add them up yourself, and then you'll see how much the monthly portfolio gain is there. You just divide that by 200K account because I clear out my account every at the end of every month. So if you want to go do that, you can do that. I'll give you the opportunity. It's just your homework for the day. If you want to go back and look at all the profits I've made. And then from there, you'll get the real number. Okay. So other than that, I will, okay, Rick, I'm done with your questions for today. I'm going to go answer everyone else's because you're asking like a lot of irrelevant questions. Anyways, let me go over here real quick. Miriam wants me to take a look at gold. I'll add that to the list over here. So Miriam wants me to take a look at gold. So yeah, if you guys want me to analyze anything, go ahead and put your questions in there. We're talking about trading here. I'm not talking about my trading account. I'm not talking about my progress. I'm here to answer your guys' questions and help you guys with these trades. So if you guys have personal questions, you can message me personally, but I'm not going to waste our time on here to tell you how much profit I make every month or every day, because you guys can see that easily. Just pull up any of the chats and you can see my profits that I post up every day. Anyways, Patrick said, hey, Shawn, is it true that funding talent and some of the prop companies are giving members problems about closing scalps too early under 1 minute? So I've heard that from like a couple other people, Patrick. There's a couple members here in K2 who have had that issue. They've gotten emailed by funding talent and a couple other people from other funding companies. And I guess like the reason why that's a problem is because their copiers can't copy the trades. Right, if you're opening and closing a trade within a few seconds, then their copiers can't copy the trades and they can't document your wins. So it is true that that's an issue, but it shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, quick answer to your question is yes, but they haven't contacted me because I don't usually hold a trade for that short. I usually hold it for a few seconds, or at least a minute, or even a second or a couple seconds. So they haven't really reached out to me, but there's been like at least 5 members in K2 who have had that issues where they said they wouldn't count the trade or they wouldn't pay them out because they've been closing trades too quickly. So other than that, let me scroll this real quick. There is a possible entry right there, Jay. I do see what you just said. There's a possible entry on the 1 minute, but it's not something that I would really want to take. I would mark it up, but I'm not going to take it myself. So I don't recommend anyone take it, but I mean, if you guys want to look at it, you guys can follow it and see how it plays out right here. Because the market's it's just too risky right now. It's not something that I would take, but if you want to take it, you can go ahead. Or if you guys want to take it with a smaller lot size. I'll just send an alert there so we can follow it. But yeah, this is a very risky trade. I don't recommend anyone take it, but if you guys are planning on taking it, you guys can. So we can follow for you, Jay, and we'll see how it plays out. But I think Powell is still speaking right now, so it's not something that I really want to mess with at this time because yeah, I mean, a lot of things that he would say would affect the market pretty heavily, obviously. So looking at this right here, so he is still speaking. Well, we'll take a look at it as we continue. Anyways, I'll leave that marked up right there, Jay, and then if it hits, I'll let you know. If not, then we'll just come back to it. But it is bouncing around. It's still too volatile for me right here. I wouldn't want to enter it. And Powell is speaking. You can see right here he's live. So I don't know what he could literally answer one question and it'll spike it one way or the other. And this is probably going to go on for like another hour or so. So probably until 8. And then by that time, I'm probably going to be off the session anyways. There you go. Full TP off that, Jay. So if you caught it, that hit full TP right there. So I'll give you guys a little update in the group for whoever did catch that because we did mark it up. But, I didn't take it myself. So not really of importance to me personally, but I'll send you this right here. Rav said, Shawn, tell Powell spike it up for me. Yeah, I think you should be able to make it back up. You should be able to make it back up, Rav. So let's see. I'll just give you guys a little update here for whoever caught it. I mean, I didn't catch it, but I don't plan on trading today. But you guys did see that we did mark it up there. All right, yeah. So if you guys have profits from that, go ahead and send them over and then we'll take a look. Let's see, Jeff, looks like, yeah, so Abraham and Jeff. So Romano made 2,910. Nice work, Romano, taking some sells off that. Abraham here as well. Abraham made 1,711. Nice work, Abraham. Congrats. And Jeff over here, he took some buys right there. He locked in 1,406. Nice work, Jeff. Yeah, so Jeff said small lot, small gains for done for the day. So yeah, looks like Jeff took the 1 minute there. Pretty nice profit off that. And it's still shooting up pretty heavy right there. Looking at Albert over here, Albert made 511. So, back to what I was saying earlier, guys, Albert was only up like 20 bucks earlier. Now he's up 511. So, this debunks the whole argument earlier that people can't make 1,000 with a small account. He's almost there. Albert's like basically on his way up. So pretty solid right there amongst everyone over here. Let me see this real quick. Let's see. Salorm as well. Salorm took the buy right there too. Salorm made 832 for the day. Nice work, Salorm. Yeah, Albert over here as well. Nice work, Albert. So Albert's up 260 off his other account. Otto over here as well. Otto took that buy scalp. He's up 304. So yeah, as you guys can see, you don't have to make it in the thousands. You can build up to the thousands for the day. He made a couple $100 for the day, and he's trading a smaller account. These are smaller lot sizes right here, and he's not unfunded either. So definitely great work amongst everyone here, and it's still shooting up as we speak. So as you guys can see, this is why I like to trade the opposite of sentiment. So even though everything was pointing towards the downside, I still wouldn't want to trade in the downside because all the retail traders were short. So like for me, I would prefer that things point the other way for this specific reason. But I mean, we'll see what happens from here as we continue. So let me just scroll down real quick and see where we were. Did I miss anything else? Eunice is asking, is there also manipulation on DAX? Everything is showing a bearish trend, but I'm still not confident with taking a sell because of the sentiment, 60% short. Yeah, I mean, anything can be manipulated, Eunice. It just depends on when you're looking at it and stuff like that. But yeah, the DAX, I mean, I think we're getting close to the close of London session. So the DAX is probably going to die down a little bit. It's probably just going to follow US 30 as it goes. But yeah, guys. All right. So I'm going to go back to the questions over here. So the first question was from Wayne. Wayne wanted me to take a look at Euro NZD. After that, I have GBP odd for William. And then after that, I have gold for Miriam. So I'm going to take a look at those real quick. First thing is going to be Euro NZD. So I'll pull up Euro NZD real quick and I'll analyze that from scratch so that you guys can see exactly how I analyze charts here to identify these entries. So Euro NZD is right over here. All right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take everything off the chart so you guys can see how I start my analysis from scratch to finish. Turn everything off the chart. Here's a naked chart. I'm going to zoom out and there's nothing on the chart, right? The first thing I'm going to do is identify market structure. In order to do that, I turn on the K2SR indicator right here. And then I go ahead and draw my zones on the chart. So we have a zone above here. And the reason I draw this is to identify where rejection points are. This right here overlaps with this one down here. So I'm just going to draw one big zone. And then again, down here, we got another one from here down here. And then from over here, we got another one down here. Another one down here. And then lastly, we got one all the way down here. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And once we turn that off, you can see that we have perfectly drawn market structure, right? A lot of people have issues drawing market structure. It takes them like hours and hours to draw market structure because they don't know where to put the zones. But if you guys have the K2SR indicator, it makes all the difference right here. So looking at this on the chart, you can see how these patterns move, right? You can see it has like a consolidation phase and then it breaks out. Consolidation, breakout. Consolidation slightly, breakout to the upside, consolidation, breakout. So like from right here, you can see that price consolidated, broke out. Now it's slowly moving up. So what do you think is going to happen from this point? It's either going to consolidate even further before breaking out, or it could break out the other way. You know, this gives you scenarios. So like once you have market structure drawn, you can start looking at the market like, oh, what's going to happen from this point? From my perspective, looks like it's going to go into some consolidation. So once we have this drawn up right here and we have the zones drawn up, the next thing I'm going to do is identify where the bias is. In order to do that, I turn on the K2 momentum indicator right here. And from this point, you can see where the bias is. The bias is a buy, right? Reason for that buy is because we have the bullish momentum right here. And with that said, we're basically looking for buys only at this point. So what I'd be looking for here is I would be looking for price to break and close above here. And then once it breaks and closes above here, then I would take the buy. And then I would just write it up to the next zone, right? To the next zone right there. And that's basically all that I'd be looking for. And then from here, I would anticipate this to push up even higher. And then if it breaks above here, what do you think we're gonna do? The same exact thing, right? We're just gonna take it for some more buys. And then if it breaks above here, we're gonna do the same thing. The bias changes once you have an opposite momentum signal. But right now, we don't have that opposite signal. So at this point, this is what I'd be looking for in order for me to take this trade. I need price to break and close above here, and then I'll take that buy to the upside. But right now, we don't have that, right? So that's exactly what we'll be waiting for. And the thing is, you don't want to enter the buy right here because like I mentioned, price can still consolidate within this area. So it doesn't necessarily need to break above there. It can always come right back down. Right. And if you guys want to use a different confluence, you can look at all the Euro pairs. You can see like how everything is moving. But yeah, for the most part, this is like a basic breakdown of like what I'm looking for. Now I have two scenarios. I have a scenario for it to break above. If it closes above there, I take the buy. If it swings below here and we have a sell signal, then I'll take the sell. In order to get a better confirmation as to like how price is moving, you can turn on the trend meter down here. It shows you the overall trend. So the overall trend right now in 4 different time frames is for a sell. So looking at this, what might happen here is this can easily reject off this point, come back down here, provide a sell signal. If it provides a sell signal down here and it closes, then what do you think happens to our bias? Our bias changes from that bullish bias to the sell bias. And instead of taking that buy, we end up taking a sell instead, right? So you guys got to keep an open mind when you're analyzing things. Don't just be stuck in one direction. You guys got to analyze it like you're playing chess. You got to figure out, oh, if I take a buy here, what's going to happen from that point? If I take a sell here, what's going to happen from this point, right? So that you guys have a full understanding as to like where price is going to be going. If I turn on the pivots over here, this will give me a better understanding as well. You can see that price is below the pivots. So with price below the pivots like that, this indicates that I'm in a sell bias or a downtrend. So right here, this buy signal, initially it looked like it was a good buy, right? However, looking at this now, this looks like this just might be a retracement. So with this retracement right here, this can easily go either way. The trend is looking like it's going to come back down. However, who knows, if this pushes up here, then it's going to confirm the reversal. So just looking at Euro NZD right now, it just doesn't look like something worth entering. I would probably wait for it to either close above here for a buy, or I'd wait for a sell signal and for it to close below here for me to take that sell. But until then, I'm probably not going to mess with it. Today's a heavy news week. So you can see right here, all the news down here, like a lot of heavy news. Like heavy news is the red stuff. When it's red, it's heavy news. And you can see with all this heavy news here, this affected the market pretty heavily. It started moving kind of funky, right? If you look over here, there's no heavy news. There's like medium news and light news, right? Looking at the same strategy that I just showed you, if I scroll back over here, so you can see right here, there's no heavy news. It's like light news. The last heavy news was over here. Looking at this, we had a sell signal right here. We had price break and close below the structure right here, like we were waiting for. And that would classify as an entry using the K2SR strategy. So if you guys don't know the K2SR strategy, this is the K2SR zone strategy. For one, you just want to confirm a break and close past K2SR zone. Two, you want to confirm direction of momentum using K2 momentum indicator. And then after that, you can enter on the open of the following candle. So, this is a very simple strategy. You just confirm a break and close. Right here is a break and close. Second, you confirm the direction of momentum. Right here, we have a sell signal. So with that said, you enter a short position right here, and then you just ride it to the next zone down here for about, we could say like 90 pips or so. So if you were to let that run right there, and you let this push forward, there you go, full TP with no drawdown, and it comes all the way back up. That's why you want to have your TP set right there, because as soon as it hit the support, it shot all the way back up. So that's just an easy breakdown of like what we're analyzing here and what we're looking for. So basically, we're just waiting for that to play out again, right over here until that confirms. So that's it for Euro NZD right here. I wouldn't really mess with it because you can go either way. A lot of confluence is showing on the sell side, so you probably look for a sell, but you need to wait for this sell signal to come, and you need to wait for it to close below here in order to take that trade. So that's it for Euro NZD. Let me go ahead and take a look at the next one. The next one is GA. So GA for William. Over there real quick. We got GA right over here. So same situation here. I'm going to go ahead and analyze this from scratch. Let me just turn everything off the chart. Zoom out from this point. So first thing I'm going to do is identify market structure, right? I'm going to turn on the K2SR indicator right here. I'm going to go ahead and draw my rectangle right there. Draw my rectangle right here. Right here. And you guys can see, if you guys have these indicators, it makes analyzing the chart so much quicker. You don't have to be analyzing it for like hours and hours on end. Sometimes I see people analyze charts and they're on this thing for like days. A lot of us call that analysis paralysis. You end up taking too much time analyzing a chart. You miss all the moves. So there you go, the GA right there. We have perfectly drawn market structure. The next thing I'm going to do is identify. So looking at price right here, it's above this area. So I need to get a higher zone because we don't have one here on the 4 hour. In order to do that, we just go in the higher time frame, the 8 hour right here. There's nothing there. I go on the daily. There's nothing there. I go on the weekly. And there we go. We have a zone like literally right over here. Actually, we have there's like another zone right here too. So it's a little bit of a risky trade right here. It's not something that I would personally want to take, but we'll take a look for you, William, because I know that you're looking at this yourself. So just looking at GA right here, there's not enough space for me to really want to take a trade. Like looking at this right here, it's only like 28 pips, but basically right here, if I turn on the momentum indicator, we have a bullish bias, right? Bullish bias is right here because we have the most recent buy signal. So looking at this right here, I could probably expect this to push up a little higher from this point. But here's a problem. When it gets to this point above here, this is where it gets a little risky. Like you might, if you want to trade within the zone, it becomes risky because price can easily reject off any point within this area right here, right? So that's why I don't like to trade within zones. I like to trade outside of the zones. But if we turn on the trend meter, it's pretty bullish. We turn on the pivots, it's very bullish. So, you know, everything's pointing towards the upside. So if you do enter this for a buy, I could definitely see it pushing up even higher. So yeah, that's our bias right here for GA. Yeah, there's not really much to look at right here because there's not very much space for the movement. But yeah, if it does push up higher, then, you know, it's just going to follow through with the bias for the trend, because the trend overall is bullish. The trend for this specific time frame is bullish. Our momentum is indicating a bullish move. But just keep in mind that there's news that just happened right here, you know, the unemployment rate. So a lot of this stuff could affect the market. Yeah, there's a lot of unemployment and just a lot of unemployment information here, earnings and stuff like that, which probably could have affected the market. So yeah, I would consider GA a bit of a risky trade from my perspective. You know, from you obviously analyze it differently because you trade, you know, a lot of price action. So if your analysis lines up with mine, then, you know, it's probably going to be bullish. But, you know, who knows? I would wait for that confirmation, or I would just trade something else that's a little more that's moving a bit more, because looking at this right here, it was in a consolidation phase and it looks like it's attempting to break out of it, right? So if it breaks out of it, you can probably expect it to continue pushing up higher and higher. So yeah, definitely no problem, William. But yeah, good luck to your trade if you're in that. I think you might be in it, right? All right, next up we have gold. The other question is from Shortstein. Shortstein also wants me to take a look at GBP USD. So I'll take a look at that as well. But next up we have gold. Let me just take a look at US 30 real quick, see if we're missing anything here. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and put your questions in the chat and I can take a look for you. So let's see, a nice push up right here for US 30. Looks like it might be reaching, it's trying to push for the all-time high again. So Rav, I think you're still in this trade, right? It's about to reach your break even, bro. Yeah, you're about to get back to your break even right now. I wish I held on to that too. Man, you had like some like strong nerves, Rav, to hold on to this trade, because you went into drawdown massively. So you entered right here like at 12. So you had a drawdown of like 2,300 pips and you held on to it, and it's coming all the way back up to where it was originally. So yeah, definitely glad to see that you're making yourself back into profit right now, Rav. Anyways, going back to the questions over here, let me see if there's anything that I mixed. So Martin said off topic. So the companies for these funded account copy our trades. So Martin, I know for sure. Well, not I don't even say for sure. Like I'm pretty sure that FTY does copy the trades, because, you know, I've been with them for so long, and they basically sponsor a lot of the bigger traders that you guys probably know about. Funding Talent, I know that they've publicly said that they don't copy people's trades. They basically just pay out through challenge fees. But I'm sure that they probably copy some people's trades who have been consistent, who've been around for like a long time. You know, there's only so many people that are that consistent, so they stick with them and they copy their trades. But I think you have to be pretty consistent with them, like for like months and months on end, maybe even a year. Going over to, let's see, Patrick. Yeah, no, definitely great racket for them. Nico said, is there a specific time frame on using the K2SR strategy for US 30? Also, is there a fixed TP stop loss for it? No, there isn't, Nico. Have you watched the video, Nico? Because everything's pretty much explained there. But, you know, just going over it again, US 30 is not one of the assets that we generally trade the K2SR strategy for, because you can't really hold US 30 on the floor. I mean, technically you can if you really wanted to, but if you think about it, you don't have enough capital to hold on to US 30 trade for like, you know, 1,000, 2,000 pip move, unless you're taking like a baby lot size. So technically you can use it. This strategy was meant for the 4-hour. So if you want to do it, I mean, feel free, but I don't think you have enough margin to hold on to a trade for, you know, for that long, because, you know, this asset isn't really meant to be traded like that. It's different. Forex is a ranging asset, so it kind of goes back and forth. It's easy to identify, you know, those patterns. For US 30, this is a directional asset. It just goes one direction. So like, if you're trying to trade it in a range, you know, bouncing through these zones, it's probably not going to play out the way that you anticipate it to. So I personally wouldn't trade this on the higher time frame. You can make way more profit trading it on the shorter time frame for scalps because it's directional. But if you do want to trade it, the 4 hour is what this strategy was meant for. And there's no fixed TP stop loss because you push to the next zone. Like for example, here on GA, this right here, if you enter this trade here, your TP would only be about, 28 pips right there. Looking at AJPY, like the trade we had earlier, for this right here, we're writing it to the next zone, which is about a 50 pip move. So it's very subjective. There's no fixed TP stop loss. And I think if you're going to trade on the higher time frame, you kind of have to get out of that mindset where there's a fixed TP stop loss. Because the thing is, this thing can move on for days, can move on for weeks, can move on for months before it reaches your TP. But when you're scalping, that's why you use a fixed TP, because we know the range that it moves during that time period. So yeah, other than that, Nico, I think that answers your question. Let me go over here real quick and see. Yeah, no problem. Chris said, just a question about lot sizes. So you go from one lot. If you go from one lot size, would you be able to be trading like $34,000, like US 30? It depends on your broker, Chris. Some brokers use standard lots, some brokers use mini lots. If you're using a mini lot, then you should have at least $100 per 0.01. If you're using a standard lot size broker like Hugo's Way, you need at least 1,000 per 0.01 to use proper risk. So that's and that's using proper risk management, right? You can obviously use more, but so if you have a $34,000 account, you're not going to be able to trade a one lot on either a mini lot or a standard lot. You would need like a micro lot broker, because for that you can have you can trade a 0.01 per $10, but that's a micro lot broker. So I think that's something like CoinEx. If you heard of CoinEx before, you can trade with them on that, but it's going to be the same thing as trading a 0.01 with Hugo's Way. It's just you move the decimal over by 1. So like so standard lot size broker, you're going to need 1,000 capital requirement. You're going to need then this is for proper risk. This isn't required, but this is if you want to use proper risk and you don't want to blow your account, right? If you want to use proper risk and actually have long-term gains, you're gonna have to use proper risk. So per 0.01, a mini lot size broker will be 100 per 0.01. And it doesn't really matter, because the thing is, if you just change your lot size for like the higher ones, you just move from like mini to micro. See, the numbers just change like slightly. And this is for you at US 30. Right? It's not for Forex. Forex is different. So this is what you'd be using, Chris, depending on your broker, right? A standard lot size broker would be something like Hugo's Way, because you need a lot more capital to trade with them. A mini lot size broker would be something like CoinEx. Micro lot size broker would be different. So it just depends on which broker you're using. Chris said, "I got you." So I don't need like 35,000. No, I don't know where you got that number from. That's a big number. 35,000 to trade US 30. You can trade with a lot less. It just depends on what broker you're using. If you have a small account, then just use a micro lot broker like CoinEx. Like you can trade with them for like 1,000 or even less than that. But I wouldn't recommend anything under that, especially for US 30, because it moves so fast. Okay, so like the next question over here is for gold. So let me look at US 30 real quick to see where it's going. It looks like it's pushing back up right here on the 1 hour. Same with the 10-minute, 3-minute, and 1 minute here as well. So yeah, we don't have any entries here for that. If I see any other entries here, I'll let you guys know. Just looking here on the 3-minute, we probably look for some sort of retracement here, and then a possible shoot back up. Same with the 1 minute here. We already have the retracement signal right there. So if you guys wanted to catch this, you just catch the buy signal back up. But yeah, let me go back to gold over here. So another question for gold. So here's gold. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything off the chart, and then I will analyze this from scratch again. So looking at this here, we have a naked chart. Let me zoom out from this point. Yeah, no problem, Chris. Glad I can help you with that. So here we are with gold. Naked chart. First thing I'm going to do is identify market structure. In order to identify that, I will go ahead and draw this right there. Draw this right here. Draw this right there. So as you guys can see, if you guys have the K2 indicators, this thing makes things so much easier. You don't have to go ahead and like guess where support resistance is. And that's what K2SR stands for. It's short for support resistance. Basically, this indicator automatically plots support resistance on the chart for you where it's highly tested, and then it becomes a zone. So looking at gold right here. So it looks like you guys can see the pattern, right? For gold, it consolidates, breaks out, consolidates, breaks out, consolidates, breaks out, consolidates, breaks out, right? It's the same pattern every time, consolidates, breaks out. So looking at gold right here, obviously just looking at this from a bird's eye view, it's obviously in a bullish bias. And you can just see that just by looking at it. It's not that difficult to identify right there, right? Straight bullish bias right there. The next thing we're gonna do is turn on the momentum indicator to identify the bias right here. So our bias is a buy. You can see the same strategy that I just went over earlier. Let me go back to EN. Yeah, so the same strategy that I just discussed earlier, the K2SR zone strategy, it works for pretty much all assets. Going back to gold over here, it's no different, right? I'm gonna go ahead and this right there. So looking at this right here, we have a bullish signal right here, like a bullish momentum signal. We had price breaking close past the zone right here. So with that said, what would this be? This would be a buy right here, right? So it's still currently active right now. I personally wouldn't enter this right now because there's a lot of, Powell speaking right now. So with Powell speaking, he's talking. Oh, sorry. So I was checking if he's still talking. So he's still talking right now. With Powell speaking, that's going to highly affect gold. So I wouldn't really mess with gold right now because of the things that they're covering. Because gold moves opposite of the dollar. The gold is I can't remember what it's called. It's man, I forgot what the word was for it. It's it's like a safety. I forgot. Well, like gold and the yen, they both move opposite of the dollar. Oh, there's a safe haven currency. That's what it's called, a safe haven currency. So basically with gold, when the dollar is strong, gold will go down. If the dollar is weak, gold will go up. So right here, you can see that Powell is speaking. He's probably, whatever he says here is probably going to affect the market one way or the other. If he says the dollar is strong, then what will happen with gold is that gold will go down. That's like basic fundamentals. If he says something bad about the dollar, then gold will go up because people park their money in gold, right? If the dollar is not doing so well, people park their money in gold, and then that's how they pretty much ride it to the upside. So there's different ways of applying it, but right now, just because Powell's speaking, he's talking about the U.S. monetary policy. I personally wouldn't want to trade something like this because you might see a breakout at some point. But just looking at this right here, obviously we have a bullish bias, like I mentioned, because there's a current entry still running. If we turn on the trend meter down here, it's also bullish, but we do have heavy news right here. You can see initial jobless claims and then news right here. And then again, news again tomorrow right here, retail sales. So there's a lot of heavy news right here that can affect the market. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to, but it can. So, me being a conservative trader, I'm not going to take any risky trades for something like this. But yeah, looking at this here, it's bullish. Looking at the pivots, let me turn the pivots on. It's also above the pivot. So everything here is pointing towards the upside. So what might happen here is we might see a rejection off this point and then a bounce back to the upside to finish that move where it pushes up to the next zone right here. So there's my analysis for gold. But like I mentioned, I wouldn't recommend trading gold at all right now because Powell is speaking. So anything he says could affect the market heavily, especially since he's probably saying good things about the dollar. We're probably going to see this come back down. It might come back down, test this area right here, and then it might bounce back up, right? Or it can keep dropping from there even further. It just, just depends on how the market's moving from this point. So that's pretty much it for gold right there. Let's see, Rev said, Shawn, would you take the next 3-minute trade if it comes, or are you still staying out? I'm not trading at all today, Rev. There's just no point in me trading for today. Let me go to the 3-minute over here. Yeah, so we have an opposite signal right here as a retracement signal. If you want to take it, feel free, but like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to trade at all because Powell is still speaking. Anything he says can easily affect the market. And probably what he's saying right now is what's pushing US 30 to begin with. So with that said, if that thing keeps pushing up higher and higher, then it's probably going to drop. It's going to drop at some point, especially if the retail traders here are starting to fall off. Oh no, they're still pushing up. So the retail traders are starting to stack on some more because I could kind of see them anticipating that it's going to drop here. As you guys can see from this point, I mean, if you guys look from a bird's eye view, this is the area of liquidity that I drew yesterday. So if you guys remember, I drew an area of liquidity right here. Price hit the area of liquidity, and then it shot up a little bit, and then it came all the way back down. So I personally wouldn't take it, Rav. If you're asking me personally, I'm not going to trade at all today because it's already 7:30. So by 8, usually I'm already off and I'm done trading. So I'm not going to take it myself. The next question we have is GU from Short Scene. So let me pull up GU real quick. And I'm going to be going over the same exact strategy that I just went over right now. So as you guys can see for Forex, I only apply one strategy and it's pretty accurate. So I don't really I don't really change anything up that much. So let me go ahead and just delete everything off the chart again. And then we can go ahead and analyze this from scratch. So here's a naked chart. First thing I'm going to do is identify market structure. So we'll go ahead and turn on the K2SR right here. And I'm going to go ahead and draw these zones. So we got a zone right there. We have a zone right here. We got a zone right here. You got a zone right here. Zone right here. So guys, if you guys follow, what I do here every single day, because I do the same thing every single day. If you guys are able to follow this and mimic what I'm doing every day, I mean, there's no reason for you guys not to be, a successful trader, because I do this live every day. So if you guys just mimic what I'm doing, and I teach you guys exactly what I'm doing here, if you guys are able to do that, I mean, this is like your shortcut to success here with trading, because the thing is, I have so much knowledge and I've run through so many issues in the past where I've been able to master this for the most part. And, I'm able to pass this on to you guys. That's why a lot of you guys here kill it every day, because you guys follow directions and you guys do things properly. But anyways, looking at GU over here, you guys can see that we have a consolidation right here, a breakout, right? Retracement, consolidation, breakout, retracement, consolidation, breakout. And right here, it's just going through an entire consolidation. Look, it's a big range within this area. So it's just consolidating within this area right here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the momentum indicator next. We have a bullish bias right here, but obviously you can see it's not really a strong one because it reached this area, rejected off here, came back down. And then now it's just pretty much bouncing within this area right here, short scene. So GU is not really something that I would personally want to play around with because of how it's moving. I would probably wait for it to close above here. Once it closes above here, it's going to create new market structure. Or even right here, this would probably be it right here too. I wouldn't go from here because there's not enough space between these zones. But right here, if it breaks above this point, this could be new market structure. And then you could possibly take this for a long position right there. Or if you want to be really safe, you could wait for it to close above here. And this is even better confirmation on this side, where you can hit, a move right there. So me personally, I really wouldn't mess with GU right now. If you look at the trend meter, it's bullish. But looking at the pivots over here, it's super choppy, right? Like right here, you can see it's a smooth move down when price is below. It's a very smooth move down right here. But right here, you can see it's kind of attempting to reverse. So you can see it's attempting to reverse right here as the pivots are starting to shift. But like I mentioned, I would wait for it to close above here. And then you'd have that easy move to the upside. Or even above here. And then you'd have an even easier move to the upside from there. So, I mean, for the most part here, short scene, it's very indecisive. Price can do one of two things. It's currently indecisive right now. It's just going sideways. So one of two things can happen. It can either reverse to the upside, or it can continue back to the downside right here. With Powell speaking right now, if he says good things about the dollar, then you could probably expect this to drop, right? Because if price goes down, that means that the second currency is stronger than the first currency. Vice versa, when price is going up, that means the first currency is stronger than the second. So it just really depends on what happens after Powell is done speaking. How do people interpret, what he said during the news or his testimony? And from that point, I would just wait to see how price reacts. So I'd probably wait until maybe Asia session today, see where price goes. Price is probably just going to keep going sideways. However, if you want a confirmation, just wait for it to break above or below. And then once it breaks out its consolidation phase, you can enter that trade in that direction, because it's probably going to keep continuing you know, in that direction or in this direction down here. So I think that's it for this right here. Let me see if there's any other questions. If not, I think we'll probably be calling it a day. Let me scroll up real quick. Lamar said, yeah, man, I'm out here for today. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Yeah, Lamar, I'll see you tomorrow. The market's kind of slow, so there's really no point in us really taking any trades right now. Yeah, US 30 is just, I mean, it's just, you know, it's too risky right now. It's not something that I would personally want to take. Rav, looks like you probably made it back into profit at this point, right? Because you took the, or if you exited, I would probably just exit, bro. If you're still in this position, Rav, I would just exit at break even, because I know you entered around noonish. So you probably entered like, oh, you probably entered like right over here, I'm assuming, somewhere down the middle. So, or right here, actually, this might be it, around 12:30. So it looks like it pushed back to your break even point right there. I would, you know, if he gets back into profit, I would just close out at break even or maybe make some profit. I wouldn't really risk it holding it all day because there's just a lot of stuff. Oh, you're like way up there. How did you get so high? Oh, because you probably entered. Let me see. So Rav, you still got a ways to go, bro. But you held it for like almost a 3,000 pip drawdown. So you're, I mean, hopefully it comes back up for you. Oh, you dang, you like you literally entered like at the very top. How'd you enter this right here? That's crazy. Oh, because you chased it. So you entered like literally at the very top yesterday. Yeah, no, hopefully it comes back up. I'm hoping, you know, I'm rooting for you for it to come back up, but yeah, it's still got a long way to go. You might see a push up to there by Friday, but okay, easy. He said I'm silly, small lot size. Okay, no, that's fine. And as long as you're not risking too much, you know, you're cool. But I'd try to recoup as much losses as you can and then just get out at break even. But you could probably see it. We might reach the no, maybe not tomorrow. Maybe by like next week we'll reach the all-time high because it's still got a long way to go. It's not that far actually. It's only 17, about 1,800 pips or so. So yeah, pretty solid. Kerry Scott is asking, what is the general behavior of US 30 that's pattern movement? It's usually directional on open, Kerry. So I'll show you real quick. Let me just go over here on the 10-minute. So I'll show you exactly, you know, what, like how it moves. So I'll show you from open because open is like the official time that it starts to actually move. So looking at this right here, 6:30, you can see that it was kind of directional right there, right? This is normal movement here for it to go up like that, but it usually goes in the direction of the fundamentals. Today it didn't go in the direction of fundamentals and went the complete opposite. Looking at yesterday over here. So you can see yesterday, it usually moves directional, right? It just goes in one direction. I think on Tuesday it was pretty choppy though. So yeah, on Tuesday over here, this is normal. This is when the market started to move a little funky. So like looking at this right here at 6:30, you can see that it just went sideways. This is not normal. Normal is like this when it goes directional, and then usually around 9 or something like that. That's when it starts to reverse. That's why I usually stop trading around 8. So you can see right here from 6:38. This is my normal trading time. You know, it's how it's directional right there. We just take sells right there, and then once it hits like 9:10, price starts to consolidate, and then it either reverses or it continues in that direction. But that's, you know, that's normal movement for it. Usually throughout the rest of the day, it's just sideways. But looking over here, I think this was like Monday or something like that. See how it's bullish move. And then around 8 o'clock, when I get off the live session right here, it starts to go sideways. This is why I stopped trading at 8. Like a lot of people ask me why do I stop trading, because the market starts to go sideways. There's like no point in really locking in trades. So you can see right here from 6:30 to 8 when I trade, this is where it's like it's very directional. So you can take scalps and just take a bunch of buys and we lock in a ton of profits right there. Same with, well, yesterday was different, or when that day was different, but yesterday was bullish, I mean, bearish right here. And you just keep taking sells. Same situation today. If the fundamentals are pointing towards this direction, we could have just taken buys, but the fundamentals are pointing the opposite way. Plus Powell is speaking. So, you know, with that said over there, it's, you know, it's a little different, but this is pretty much how it generally, it's pretty much how it would necessarily move from this point. You know, this is normal movement. Like again, right here, I'll show you again, 6:30. So from 6:30 to 8, this is usually my trading time. I only trade for about 2 hours a day. Right here, straight bullish, right? And we just take buys from that time. And like this is on the 9th, right? So if I pull up our profits here on the 9th, so let's go to July 9th. So this is July 9th right here, right? See how everyone's profits are all for buys? Because we all took buys during that time period. Straight buys right there, right? Straight buys, straight wins. Like literally all these buys right here on the 9th. Reason for those easy buys is because price moves that way. And then after that, price kind of just goes sideways. This is why I go offline around 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, because there's just no point, right? There's no point in trading when the market's not moving. So this is why we have a system where we just trade from like 6 to 8 every morning during live session, and we make massive profits during that time. And I just call it a day, and then I just go do whatever I want to do for the rest of the day. Let's see. Pierre said, hello, Shawn. Why is my trend mirror on the 10-minute only shows blue and green? Your shows red. So Pierre, if you are scalping, go down here to the trend meter. So here's the trend meter down here. Just go to the settings down here and go to inputs. And then just when you click on this right here, you probably have it set to the intraday settings. So you probably have it set to 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour, right? So you probably see this right here. It's all blue. In order to set it to scalping settings, you just want to set it to the same as chart. So we just go to this drop down. See right here is the same as chart. Click on that on all 4. And then it'll show you what the trend is on this specific time frame. Just, you know, same as chart, which is the 10-minute. Because if you're scalping, you don't really care what's happening, you know, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours from now. You just want to you care what's happening right now within this specific time. So this is why you would change it to that here, and that would fix it for you. So yeah, guys, it's 7:40 right now. I think I'm done with all the questions. If you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to put them in the chat right now. I can answer them. I can go over any of the strategies, or if you guys have any questions about lot sizing, risk management, anything like that, I can answer your questions. Otherwise, if you don't have any more questions, I think we're going to call it a day for today. You know, like I mentioned at the beginning, I didn't even plan on trading today, so there's not really much for me to look at. And Powell is still speaking right now. So with that said, you know, I'm not really going to enter anything and risk. Yeah, he's literally still talking right now. I don't want to risk it and then end up on the wrong side of the market, because he's probably saying good things about the market. That's why, you know, US 30 is pushing up so heavily when the fundamentals are pointing to the downside, because it's still red right now, or now it's green. It's slowly turning green now. It was super red for like the longest, but now it's turning to the green side. So yeah, if you guys have questions, you know, you guys can also message me on Telegram or email me, and I'll get back to you on there. Just keep in mind, if you guys email me, I have like 200 or 300 emails a day. So it's going to take some time for me to you know, respond to your email. So if you want to message me on Telegram. That'll be the fastest way to get in touch with me. And if you guys are new here and you guys want to sign up to K2, you know, just go on the website, k2trades.com, click on K2 strategy course right here. And then you can learn all the strategies that I covered this morning, and pretty much all the strategies we apply every morning as well for US 30. So other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow for the next live session. So have a great rest of your morning, guys. If you guys don't have to trade, just, you know, just chill out for today. Go do something else. Go walk your dog, go to the gym, go out, go have fun. And then tomorrow we'll come back and wrap up the session. Let me check the news tomorrow. Yeah, we have some news again tomorrow, but it's at 5:30. So hopefully we can lock in the breakout tomorrow. So tomorrow might be a little bit better. So tomorrow I'll still be live. I'll come here and wrap up the session with you guys. But other than that, we will, you know, we'll try to catch as much as we can from now until then to wrap up the week. So have